Today, I'm going to be unveiling for the first time, and it's May 2022, my book and my workbook that is now available on Amazon. This is my book, I Rewired My Brain, My Journey to Freedom. And this is the workbook. I'm rewiring my brain, my journey to freedom. It's really, really important to get the book and the workbook together because with the book, it has two parts. The first part is my backstory, which includes all of my trauma and drama to let you know all of the things that I went through and how I got a whole lot of negative messages and a lot of negative programs in my brain. I let you know how that trauma and that drama wired my brain, programmed my brain to be a certain way. And then in part two, I tell you about how I rewired my brain. It has the tools and strategies in part two that I utilize to rewire my brain. And in the workbook, I've actually created a template to help you to utilize the tools and strategies that I did by plugging in your own information for each chapter. So in the workbook, every single chapter in the workbook corresponds to a chapter in the second part of the actual book. And they have the same titles just to help you to stay on point. So it will be really important for you to read the whole book first. And then when you get ready to do the workbook, then you go into the workbook. And if you have to do a refresher and read the corresponding chapter in the book that matches the workbook, then go ahead and do that as well. But it's so important to get both of them together because you are going to rewire your own brain, because that's what the workbook is for, to help you to do what I did. Now, what I'm going to be talking about right now is triggers. I'm going to talk about triggers. All of you know about your hot buttons. You know, somebody push a button and then it ends up with you responding or reacting to a situation in a certain kind of way. And sometimes you don't even like the way that you respond to that situation. So my book and the workbook together will help you to not even have those triggers anymore, not even have those hot buttons anymore. So stay tuned. Welcome to Dr. K Speaks. I'm Dr. K, and I'm here to help you to navigate through the many challenges in your life's journey so that you might ultimately become the highest version of yourself. So like I said, right now, I am going to go into the book and I'm going to be looking at chapter 21, which is actually in the second part of the book, and it's called Triggers. And I'm going to be talking about the situational triggers right now. Triggers are your hot buttons, those things in life that activate, that fire up your habits. A trigger can be as simple as when you see this, you do that. When you hear this, you think it means that. When you get involved in this, you act like that. Or when someone does this, you think it always means that. In short, situations trigger or activate a specific habit, whether it is a habitual behavior or a habitual way of perceiving something. Oftentimes, triggers are things we cannot control. For example, a trigger could be something that someone else is doing. Can't control that. A trigger could be something someone else says. Can't control that either. A trigger could be a rule, a law, a situation. Nevertheless, no matter what the trigger, if you stop and think, be conscious and aware before you go on automatic pilot and unconsciously act out your habit, you have a better chance of taking your life where you want it to go. So that's right. If you stop and think, being conscious and aware of the situation before you go into automatic pilot on your programs, then you'll be better able to take your life where you want it to go. Many people claim the victim role when they get triggered. They go on automatic pilot, proclaiming that the negative outcome would have never happened if that other person didn't say this or didn't do that. Have you ever done that, or do you know of anybody else who's done that, where the blame is attributed out there? I wouldn't have been acting like that if they never said that, or I would have never said that if she said that. Well, bottom line is, whatever happened triggered you, pushed your button, and then you went on automatic pilot and just responded to that situation in the way that your brain has been programmed to respond. And that's what's so important about this book and this workbook, because 95% of the time, all of us are going to be acting from automatic pilot, from whatever the programs are that are in our brain. And in my book, I talk about how the programs got in there in the first place. And in other videos, I talked about how our programs got in there in the first place. And just because we are programmed to react or respond to life in a certain way now doesn't mean we can't change it. Because if the way that you're responding to life or reacting to life is not taking you where you want to go in life, then you can reprogram yourself. You can rewire your brain. And that's exactly what my book and my workbook are designed to help you do. Like I said, the workbook right here, it's a template, and it gives you the step-by-step approach to help you to be able to rewire your brain. And in the book teaches you in simple ways. It's not wordy and scientific. It teaches you just basic simple ways how your brain got wired the way it is in the first place. And then it talks about how you can rewire it. So I encourage you to get started today. The book and the workbook is available on Amazon. Sometime near the end of 2022, it will be available on a lot of other platforms, but right now it's on Amazon, and a lot of people go to Amazon to shop anyway. So get your book and your workbook and get started today with working on rewiring your brain so that you can respond to life in ways that are going to take you where you want to go. Thank you for listening. And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel so that you can be aware of all of the other videos that I upload on helping you to become the highest version of yourself. Thank you.